Yeah.
Okay, now what do I need to go to?
You need to go click on forums.
I'm here.
Okay, see there's general PvP and PvE. As the three
Okay.
forums. Under where it says PvE, there's a little thing that says logs, like a little page that turns. That's the subforum. Click on logs. That will take you. You should see logs as the header. There should be announcements. There should be it should say a primer on Anticure, and then underneath it should say Sticky Threads Nightly HMVP Dummy Log. Everybody click on that. All right, so it's a little bit confusing. This is just the formatting, how it should look. Okay, so that's just as a reference guide to the way that you should format everything. And of course, I didn't post that thing. So that being okay, so the way that it will work, say that you're running EV story mode. So in the title, you'll type EV SM, and then you'll do the date. Then at the very top of your post, you'll do the HMVP value of the operation completion, aggregate boss HMVP value. That is basically, if you don't know what that is, again, this is only going to be the raid leaders doing this. So Manny and Dora, any time you get lost, if you don't understand what you're doing, just interrupt me. Okay, so for instance, if you were doing EV story mode, the way that you would format that is you would do a 4, then you would do a slash, and then you would do a 5, right? Because there are 5 bosses, and they're worth 1 point apiece. So it's 4 for the completion, 5 for all of the slash, 5 for all the bosses. Then what you do is you do boss 1's name, which in EV that is
Annihilator droid.
Annihilator. So you would just write Annihilator. Then underneath that, if an item dropped, it was not randomed off. So if this is something that points were spent on, you'll write the item name, you write and then you'll do a hyphen. You will do the person who received it, and then you will do a hyphen, and then you will do what they spent on it. And then you will just do that for all of the items and all of the people who received something. So that you could have none. It's entirely possible that nobody's going to need anything on a boss, or you could have 3 or however many items drop. Everybody could want something. Same, and you just do that for all of the bosses. Then underneath that, you'll write standby players on at the end of night, and any players that were on at the beginning and the end of the, who were on for the duration of the operation, you'll write their names there. Then you will write anybody who left. If somebody left after the first boss, you'll just write left after first boss, left after second boss, whatever. If somebody leaves before the boss started, you'll write that there, and then you'll write down no shows. Then underneath all of that, so you've captured all the points, you will go through and you will just do a change. So if people gain points, you'll just write their name, and then you'll write plus or minus whatever their points are for the raid. Some people will be negative, some people will be positive. Some people may have gotten as much as they spent, so there will be no change, but it just needs to be captured there. What'll happen is, I get on the website every night that I'm at work, so as I see this, as anybody in the executive council sees this, they'll update the points on the website. Everything now, to see where the points are on the website, everybody click members up the top on that bar. That'll take you to our you'll see something up at the very top, right underneath that bar that says raids, members, loot, events, items. Everybody click members. You should see a list, should be alphabetical, of our names. You can do current points. That'll show you just what all points everybody has. People who were in before the merger, I reduced their points down, but I kept the order in which they were so that they still have priority, the way that they had priority before the merger happened, but we had so many and we changed the way that the points work that it wouldn't have been fair to anybody who's new for us to keep all those points. As you earn points, that will always stay positive as long as you have not lost more points than you spent. So earned, that is a total number that will keep growing and growing as we'll spend. Adjustments. That is you'll see that primarily if you didn't finish a flash point. If points got deducted, that's where you'll see that, or if points are awarded for above and beyond, that kind of thing. But adjustments, that's going to be where we take out points for not completing bosses, because it's a little bit difficult. This function on the website's still in beta, and it's not quite as versatile as it needs to be. So sometimes you have to go in and adjust people's points manually. If everybody will click on items, I don't know what happened. It was showing duplicates, and I deleted one, but it deleted some stuff on not anything a big deal. But if you click value and sort that by value, you'll see Kalumi level mods, which are going to be 24s, anything that says 24s, as well as Kalumi schematics, that's going to be worth 1 point. As are Exotech pieces. Exotech pieces are the same as Kalumi, but they don't offer a set bonus, so they're not going to be worth the same amount as Kalumi. Kalumi pieces are going to have a base value of 2. So if you're running and a Kalumi piece drops and no one else needs it other than you, and it's a benefit, and it's just given to you without an auction, you will have to spend at least 2 HMVP, which is then backed by 10,000 credits to the guild bank. In regard to the money, if for some reason you don't have the money to back your points, you have one week to get that back. So if you run something and you don't have quite all the credits, say on a Friday, you have until that next Friday to pay. If you haven't paid by then, you're not going to be allowed to raid. Nothing should ever get out of hand. Doesn't tend to happen, and you can make 300,000 credits a day by doing your dailies. So money really isn't an issue in this game. Rare drops start at 8 points. It's kind of expensive, I know, but we want the guild to make money, so we want people who really want those rare drops to have to spend the credits to get them. Then rare drops, that's going to be things like mounts, pets, Karaga's unyielding helm, that kind of thing. Just anything that isn't a guaranteed drop, and guaranteed meaning on the loot table. I think that's about it. Does anybody have any questions?
Is it 10K per point spent? Like 8 points would be 80K, goes in the guild bank. How's that work?
It's 5K per points. 5K per point spent.
Okay.
Right.
Do we give out points for story modes or just hard modes? How's that work?
It's anything that has a weekly lockout. Everything has value, but it has a weekly lockout. Story mode, and again, that's represented in the
appendix.
So EV story mode is worth 4 for a completion, and then 1 per boss. So it's that you have a total. You can get 9 straight away. If you, from start to finish, you will at least earn 9 points for the completion. Now, if you're on time, you'll get an extra point. So that will be then 10, and if it takes you an hour, that will be another point, so that's 11. And then those hours keep accruing until it's completed. If for some reason you don't complete it on a certain night, if everyone says we need to stop this, it's too late, and you agree to come back, you will not be able to count the time from which you stopped until the next day, or you keep it up. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't finish it on a Tuesday and you come back on a Friday, you don't get to add 36 points because or you don't get to add 72 points because it's been 72 hours. It's only the time that you were actively trying to complete it. Correct. Is that clear to everybody?
Yep.
See.
All right, that does it for it's 5K for point spent.
So every time you spend a point, no matter what, it's going to cost you $5 grand out of your pocket.
Yes. and that's go straight to the guild. That's so we can keep the guild coffers up so that you don't ever have to pay for repairs, and so that we can buy tabs as we get more people in and as our bank slots fill up. And so whenever
Fine,
they
under channel.
introduce, assuming they introduce guild capital ships or guild leveling, we have funds to do that.
The question I have on this is the 5K is per point value or per point spent on the item?
Per point spent on the item.
Alright, so if I spent 10 points, I'm spending 50K credits.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I needed to know.
I spent 55K or 55 DKP or HMVP on my main hand. That was like 556K.
You sure are a mental case.